I would like to do a announcement of current events that's involving this podcast. Chalice Paul disappeared, the true story. The son of John Paul Sr., his name is John Paul Jr., who was a famous race car driver back in the 1980s, has passed away on December 29th, 2020. From what I understand, it was an elective choice that he made, that it was his time to go. He had a long-standing Huntington's disease that he was getting special treatment from UCLA by way of his caregiver and her sister, who was a scientist at the time who got him into this program, that a woman by the name of Susan Perlman was able to facilitate special genetic treatment for him, and they were coming very close to a cure, and he was failing. From what I understand, his health was really going down the tubes. So I just want him to rest in peace, and his family, and know that this journey that I have been on for Chalice Paul is not going to end because of John Paul Jr.'s passing. In fact, I hope that it'll escalate more and that more people will come forward with information or stories or anything that they can contribute towards the memory of John Paul Jr. that they might think wasn't important, but it could be very much important in a timeline of events that happened back in the 1980s when Chalice Paul disappeared, then later on in the year 2000 when Colleen Wood disappeared. Both women were actively involved in the racing circuit with the Pauls. They appeared on racing fields that, or tracks, that took place, like Road Atlanta. We know that John Paul Sr., when he got out of prison, he actually showed up at Road Atlanta with Junior in a very pricey Porsche that we understand was in storage in the Atlanta area by some individuals that were very close to the Pauls, who was involved, who I've been trying to reach out and speak to extensively. John Paul Jr. made what I would call a dying declaration or a goodbye letter that his significant other, Darlene Gray, posted on his public John Paul Jr. Facebook page. What I was surprised to find that there was no mention of certain individuals that played an active part in his life. Now, I don't want to be judged because he just passed away and to be cold and callous towards his passing. It was inevitable. We knew it was coming sooner or later with the disease that he had and the fact that his life was extended because of the special treatment, because of his racing career that was recognized, like most athletes, even to this day. Everybody thinks O.J. Simpson might still be innocent. He certainly, was found not guilty, but a lot of people loved him too, and he did commit a crime, or at least I feel he committed a crime. But that's personal opinion. I was not what I would call, an avid fan of racing, and certainly was not a fan of the Pauls for the loss that I have suffered because of the hands of John Paul Sr. I just wish that John Paul Jr. would have spoken to me or had the opportunity to speak with me when I requested it. But I have to say that I deeply, deeply am appreciative of his younger brother, who had the audacity and the courage to come forward and speak in this podcast and shed some light on the facts and truths of the past. I wish everybody well. I hope everybody has a great new year. And if anybody would like to sign up for the newsletter, there's a posting there about John Paul Jr. And I will be adding more information as I go. And of course, I have more documentation in regards to the past and another individual who passed away. Actually, a couple individuals who passed away. I have an updated episodes coming that are going to be in the works that will probably blow everybody away. I'm sure of it. But now that one Paul has passed, maybe people can relax and say, well, maybe I should talk to this lady. Maybe we should offer up some information that could help her in her 40-year search of getting justice on a beautiful woman that had her whole career ahead of you. I'm just glad that John Paul Jr. was able to outlive his career and to have so many people around him that loved him. God bless everybody.